Why your brain gets addicted to people who hurt you. Psychology. You know they hurt you. You've cried over them, lost sleep over them, maybe even lost yourself over them, and yet you keep going back. Not because you're weak, not because you're stupid, because your brain, the same brain that solves problems, makes decisions, and keeps you alive, is chemically addicted to them, and psychology explains exactly why. This isn't about love. It's not about compatibility. It's about what happens inside your nervous system when someone gives you pain and then relief. By the end of this video, you'll understand why leaving feels impossible, even when staying is destroying you, and more importantly, what your brain actually needs to break free. Point 1. The reward loop. Your brain runs on dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical of anticipation, not happiness, anticipation. Every time someone who's hurt you suddenly becomes kind, calls you back, or gives you a moment of warmth, your brain floods with dopamine. Not because they're good for you, because the reward was unpredictable. Psychology calls this intermittent reinforcement. It's the same mechanism behind slot machines. You don't get rewarded every time. You get rewarded sometimes, randomly. And that randomness, that uncertainty, makes your brain obsess. A consistent, stable, kind person? Your brain barely notices. Someone who hurts you, then loves you, then disappears? Your brain can't stop thinking about them. Point 2. Trauma bonding. There's a term psychologists use called trauma bonding. It happens when cycles of pain and affection fuse together in your brain until you can no longer separate the person from the feeling of relief they occasionally give you. Think about it. When they apologize after hurting you, the relief feels enormous. When they're kind after being cold, it feels like sunshine after a storm. Your brain doesn't register, "This person caused the storm." It only registers, "This person ended it." So your nervous system starts craving them, not for love, for regulation. They become the drug and the cure at the same time. Point 3. Your nervous system gets hijacked. Here's where it gets deeper. When someone hurts you, your body enters a stress state. Cortisol rises. Your nervous system goes on high alert. Then, when they come back, with kindness, attention, affection, your body exhales. Cortisol drops. Oxytocin rises. You feel safe again. That contrast, the tension and the release, becomes physically addictive. Psychology calls this the stress relief cycle. Over time, your body stops feeling calm without the tension first. You start unconsciously seeking the stress, because you know the relief follows. This is why people say, "I only feel truly close to them after a fight." That's not love. That's a hijacked nervous system mistaking survival for connection. Point 4. Childhood wiring. Now, here's the part most people don't want to hear. For many people, this pattern didn't start with this person. It started in childhood. If love in your early life was inconsistent, a parent who was warm sometimes and cold other times, affectionate one day and critical the next, your brain learned something dangerous. It learned that love is supposed to feel uncertain, that you have to earn it, chase it, prove yourself worthy of it. Psychology calls this anxious attachment, a nervous system trained to equate unpredictability with love. So when someone consistent and stable comes along, something feels off, too easy, too boring, too good to be real. But someone who pulls away, challenges you, makes you work for their affection, that feels familiar. And familiar, no matter how painful, feels like home. Point 5. The identity trap. There's one more layer. When you spend months, sometimes years, trying to fix, understand, or win over someone who hurts you, your entire sense of self starts to wrap around them. If I can just make them love me right, I'll prove I'm worth loving. Psychologists call this the need for cognitive closure. Your brain hates unfinished stories. Leaving feels like losing, like giving up on yourself. So you stay, not just because of them, but because leaving means admitting the story won't have the ending you needed. That's not weakness. That's a brain desperately trying to protect your self-worth. But staying to win their love will never give you what you're actually looking for. Pattern interrupt. Mid-video, rehook. Here's what nobody tells you. The problem was never that you loved too much. The problem is that your brain was running a program written years ago, before you even knew what healthy love looked like. And programs can be rewritten. Point 6. How the brain actually breaks free. Breaking this addiction isn't about willpower. It's about understanding what your nervous system is actually hungry for and feeding it something real. First, name what's happening. When you feel the pull toward them, say it out loud. My brain is craving a dopamine hit. This is chemistry, not love. Naming it activates your prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, and weakens the emotional spiral. Second, interrupt the stress relief cycle. Find other sources of nervous system relief. Exercise, cold water, deep breathing, real connection. Your brain needs to learn that calm is possible without the chaos first. Third, grieve the fantasy, not the person. Most people aren't mourning who the person actually was. They're mourning who the person could have been. That grief is real. Let it exist. But understand, you're not missing them. You're missing the version of them your brain invented to survive. Your brain didn't fail you. It did exactly what brains do. It adapted to survive the environment it was given. But you're not in that environment anymore. You are not addicted to a person. You are addicted to a feeling your brain was never properly given. And the moment you start giving yourself safety, consistency, and real peace, the addiction loses its power. Not overnight, but permanently. If this hit closer than you expected, that's not a coincidence. That means something in you already knows it's time. Subscribe, because every week we break down the psychology behind the patterns that quietly run your life. And understanding them is the first step to finally being free.